Hi, I'm Maeve Nimmo, Guidance Counsellor here at Dunboyne College.
And I'm Derek Ball, the other Guidance Counsellor at Dunboyne College. Hope you enjoyed your presentation there on all of our science courses at Dunboyne College.
So we have some questions, some general questions at the moment coming in so far. So we have a question about applications and how to apply online and if you can apply as an overseas student. So basically the application process for both, for any type of applicant coming in is the same. It's apply online on dunboynecollege.ie. You will then be asked to upload some documentation around your most recent set of results. And that could be, under COVID restrictions, that could be maybe a 50 or a Christmas test or something they have most recent. And the same would apply then if it's an overseas set of results that you'd have. It will be the exact same. It's just your most recent. You'll also be asked then to write a personal statement, and you can find the guide to that on the Dunboyne College website on the homepage. If you scroll to the end, you'll see the guide for writing that. And it's really important under the COVID restrictions at present to make that personal statement as good as you can, because a lot of the offers are being sort of based on that personal statement and your results mixed together along with a reference, because at the moment there's no interview process for applications.
Another question coming in there on how long are the courses at Dunboyne College. So all of our courses are 1 year full-time courses, 1 year full-time academic courses, and what we do is we condense them into 3 to 3.5 days per week. And the reason we condense them into the 3 days or 3.5 days is to give you a day for your work experience. Work experience is a mandatory module on all of our courses, and also it gives you some time as well to do preparation for assignments and research and preparation for exams. So it's a 1 year course starting at the end of August going on until the middle of May. It's full-time, condensed into 3 to 3.5 days per week.
And we've had other questions around work experience, and students a little bit concerned about maybe how they get their work experience. Do they get it themselves, or when do they start it, or is there help in getting that?
There is, absolutely, but first and foremost, finding the work placement is actually part of the work experience module. So you actually do get marked for the whole process of contacting employers, sending out CVs, letters, etc., and getting in touch with people. It is part of the process. However, if you were really stuck, we have a work placement officer here in the college who will help you find a place. Dunboyne College itself has great links with lots of industries all in the local area and further afield, so there usually isn't much problem finding a work placement in the area of your choice. So don't be panicking about it or worrying about it. You'll be given, it's actually part of your class when you start with us, so you will be given loads of information on it and help and support in getting your work placement.
Great. And also then coming in about the application process is the key dates and when to apply. So the application process is open online currently, and it will stay open right through for late applications in September. What we would say though to students is to apply early, get your offer, secure your offer and have that in the bag for yourself. If you applied later in the year, while you will possibly be offered a place, it may not be on the course of your choice, because a lot of popular courses do fill up very quickly. So we would suggest you to apply early, secure your place. You can secure your place by paying in full, and prices range from 450 to 950 depending on the course content in terms of equipment that's needed. And the fee structure is found on the Dunboyne College website at the top bar there as well. You can see the fees. Now, if you don't decide to uptake that place, you can be refunded in full by the end of September. So let's say that you are offered something through CAO that you decide to take and you don't come to us, then you can be refunded. So it is the main way to secure your place and have that in the bag for yourself of your preferred course.
There's a question there about direct progression onto a course DC 175 Physics and DCU, and the answer is yes. All of our science courses do progress onto that DCU course. They contain the mandatory minimum entry requirement modules, so you can go from any of our science courses onto that DC 175 course in DCU Physics. Somebody else just asked there about our qualifications. What qualification do you get from a course at Dunboyne College? So you'll probably know already about the National Framework of Qualifications. They have a 10-level framework for all qualifications in education in Ireland from 1 up to 10. So currently, if you're sitting your Leaving Cert, you're doing either a level 4 or a level 5, depending on the Leaving Cert programme you're taking. You would then come to Dunboyne College of Further Education next year, and you will study your course again at QQI level 5. And once you successfully pass the QQI level 5, you can then progress on to third level college to level 6s, 7s or 8s. So gaining a level 5 qualification in further education leaves you best placed to apply for level 6s, 7s and 8s. 6s are usually diplomas, 7s are your 3-year ordinary degrees and the 8s are your 4-year higher degrees.
So also, why would students come to us is being asked, what would be the advantages of coming to further education as opposed to going direct into higher education or indeed to employment. And there's many reasons, and in the past I suppose there wasn't as many, and definitely the cohort of students is growing as to why students come to us, and there's many reasons. Some students do miss out on CAO points and that's why they come. Others maybe aren't sure of what to put on the CAO or have put too little on their CAO choice and they haven't received an offer and they come to us. But other students decide that they actually want to take a year where to try a course. They're not really quite sure what to study or whether they want to go straight to a 3-year degree. And they want to maybe try that out, try the area of it and see, in the sciences as well, maybe you're not sure the actual direction. So the difference for you in, compared to school science and what you do at college level science is that in school your science would be, a few times a week of one subject in science. Whereas here you're going to have a whole course every day, all your subjects are science based. So it's given you an area maybe that you haven't seen before, that maybe you didn't know you liked, you didn't know existed. And it just gives you insight into that. So some students decide to come through further education for that reason as well, and sort of try out a course. And then also some students feel they're too young to go straight into higher education and go straight to university. They feel that jump is maybe just a little bit too big to go from from school into higher education, and they come through the year at further education.
Another question in there asking how many of our students progress on to third level, and we're delighted to say that over 90% of our students last year who achieved a full award were offered places in third level via the CAO system. And just to give an example of where some of our students have ended up, we have 90 students in Maynooth University, 29 in DCU, 233 of our students are in TU Dublin, 21 in Dundalk, and then we have loads of students all around the country in different third level institutions, in Galway, Waterford, Limerick, Sligo, etc. Also quite a few of our students from last year went over to the UK, to university over there, particularly in the area of nursing. So good progression on there, and we're delighted to say over 90% of students progressed on. That was a lot of hard work by students and staff, but it's great to see it.
Yeah, great progression. We have a question here about the support going forward for students, for example, logging into CAO and etc. It's what's asked here. So in terms of the support, there is support. Derek and I are both full-time guidance counsellors in the college, so we are there for students the whole year. So we will have, as the year progresses through the different stages of CAO and different aspects that come with that, different programmes and the SUSI grant and all those different things, scholarships, everything that's there available. We will go through with students about what's needed in order to be able to progress, how to progress, and then indeed the CAO and what's different on the CAO compared to the CAO form that you would have filled in as a Leaving Cert student, which is only slight differences but important all the same. But the support is full-time there. So we work on an appointment-based or a walk-in, drop-in service. Normally, outside of COVID, we'd have a drop-in service. This year, obviously, that wasn't able to be. But normally we'd have a drop-in service and by appointment. So you can have a one-to-one appointment, several times during the year to progress and to get the information that you need.
And just following off that, there's a question on how are the places given out to further education students. So the way it works is, as Maeve said, you will come to us for the year and you will reapply through the CAO system next January. Okay, all colleges, all third level colleges in Ireland keep places for PLC students on most of their courses. And the way it works is there's a cohort of places kept. It's usually in and around 10% of the places, but that depends on the college. I'll give you some figures in a minute for the different colleges. So you reapply through the CAO next year. You're not in competition with Leaving Cert students for those places. You're only in competition with other PLC students. And some of the numbers were last year in Maynooth, they kept over 300 places on their first year courses for PLC students. UCD, 245 places. DCU 238 places, and TU Dublin kept a total of 750 places on their courses. So really it depends on the college you're applying and it depends on the course you're applying for. So like in, we'll say, TUD Blanchardstown, they can keep up to 50% of the places on a lot of their courses for PLC students. Maynooth Arts MH101, they have 175 places. So there are plenty of places out there, so there are for PLC students to progress on to third level.
So Derek, that would bring us on to then questions we've had previously around, are you stuck to what you choose to study here? So for example, if you come and take a science award and decide that science actually isn't for you, that you want to do something else, how would that work?
That's another kind of benefit of further education. So if you come into our science faculty and you pick environmental science, it doesn't mean that you're stuck in environmental science. You might discover throughout the year with us that you actually, prefer some other area like forensic science or ag science or something like that. So a lot of the courses are generic. So when you're applying on to third level next year through the CAO, you can apply for different type of science courses. So the award is the most important thing. The award you get from us qualifies you to apply to a variety of different science courses. And if you were to pick, for example, TUD Blanchardstown, from a science course in Dunboyne, you can actually apply for any course in Blanchardstown. So even if you, as you mentioned earlier, Maeve, if you decided during the year that science wasn't for you, you could apply for a business course or something else at TUD Blanchardstown. And they're fairly generic from most of the other colleges as well.
So that really means then that you really can try a course out and see if it's a good fit for you, rather than being on a degree that's going to take you 3 years. You're either faced, if you don't like it, with trying to stick with something that you don't like or drop out. And that's why we know the dropout figures at university are quite high. So that really does back up then that, the further education route being the one academic year gives you that advantage that you're not pigeonholed into what you've chosen, and you can use the results then to be able to access other degrees as well.
Absolutely. So there's no such thing as a course not being beneficial to you at Dunboyne College. We have students who at the end of the year might say, look, that wasn't the course for me, but it's given them the skills to progress on to third level, and they feel much better prepared to face third level after the year at Dunboyne.
Very true. And what about students as well that come to us in the first few weeks of the year that have chosen a subject? Maybe they've chosen the science course, but they already know at that point that it's not for them. What then at that point?
Look, Maeve, it's a really tough time for students trying to decide what career to follow, at 17 and 18 years of age. So it does happen, sometimes a student might come to us and they might pick, let's say, agricultural science, and if they decide that the course is not for them, the first thing we say is come and chat to either yourself or myself. We'll sit down, we'll go through the course with them, see what's working, what's not working, try and work out what their interests are, etc. And then if there are places on other courses, we will definitely get them to transfer into those courses once there are places available. Yeah. But don't be sitting in a course in September if you really don't like it. Come and chat to us and we'll advise you what to do.
And I suppose the key around trying to decide that the course is for you is looking at the course content, looking at the prospectus. If you're trying to choose a course and which one to go for, is really trying to look at the content. Like before you take a course, it's very difficult to actually know what it is. And all you can do is make an informed decision. And by that is through the literature that's available. So we would recommend to look at the prospectus, read it thoroughly, pay particular attention to the subjects, the modules that you will study, and what you will learn on the year. You want to be liking most of them. You're never going to like all of them, but you want to be liking the majority of them, and that will try and give you an indicator as to what that course is going to be about, and that you're going to enjoy it enough to do it.
Another question coming in there on it's a good question. What's the difference between a full award and a component award? So at the end of your year in Dunboyne College, you can come out with 2 awards. One is a full award. That is where you study your 8 modules. That's subjects, we call them modules at Further Ed. You study your 8 modules and you pass them all. Once you pass them all, you get a full award from QQI, and that's what allows you to progress on to third level education. However, if you would say you only passed 5 out of the 8 modules, you still qualify. You get what's called a component award. So you get a certificate in each of the subjects that you pass. So you'll probably all be aiming hopefully for the full award. So passing 8 modules, and that allows you to progress to college. And that kind of leads on to another important thing as well. Further Ed isn't all about just progression on to third level college. An awful lot of students who will come to us here in Dunboyne will come with the aim of seeking employment after the course with us. All of our courses would lead on to employment. Okay, and so depending on the route you want to take afterwards, if you want to progress to college, brilliant, or if you want to go into employment. And we will be liaising regularly throughout the year with different companies in the area who would give us ideas and suggestions around what kind of qualifications they're looking for in students and things like that, and preparing you for the world of work. And again, Maeve and I, through our job in the College in Careers Services, will help you in applying for jobs or interview preparation and things like that.
We've often been asked about transport to the college and things like that, and which are also so important, and around clubs and societies and how the college works in terms of it being a college rather than a school. So in terms of transport anywhere that hasn't got a public transport link will have the private service that we put on, so that they will operate 5 days a week. They will leave the certain location point and be at the college for 9 a.m. and depart the college then for 4 p.m. And you can avail of those anywhere really that doesn't have a public transport. We will have that service available. Anything that's coming on stream new in an area that we feel there's demand for, and the student union are often have their input into that. To feel that there's a need for an extra service, we will put that on. So that's always changing and updating. Clubs and societies as well is something that continually changes. There wasn't as much of that this year with COVID restrictions, but still there has been clubs and societies within the student union. They are drivers of it really in terms of a lot of the activities, and there's obviously teacher input also into that. And then the different services that are in the college, there's all the services that you would expect in a third level institute, such as the IT service, you've got the library, you've got counselling, career service. There's so many services, learning support, academic support. So all the different aspects of college life you'll find at the college here.
There's a question there just asking us to recap what our application process is. The application process, as Maeve said, is already on. It's open. It's online at dunboynecollege.ie. You just go into the Apply Now button, and there's a fairly short application form. It's about 2 pages, and it's not hard. Get that submitted in, and you will get an email back from the college very soon after that. And they will then ask you to submit 4 pieces of information. They're asking you to submit, as Maeve mentioned already, the personal statement. They're asking you to submit a photograph of yourself, a reference, and also a most recent set of results. That could be something like your Christmas, summer, or Christmas results. Sorry, your 5th year Christmas results, or it could be your 6th year Christmas results. Whatever you have available, just submit that. So go online, fill in the application form, look out for your emails pretty quickly after that, submit the 4 documents, and then you will hear within a week from that if you have been successful in getting a place.
And we have a question here around the modules and how you choose your modules, or are they specific to the course, or are they chosen for you? So basically, if we talk about science, within the science department, there will be general science subjects that are required to make up the award. So the awarding body is QQI, that's Quality Qualifications Ireland, who will award your modules as a full award. They have different categories that make up that full award depending on the award that it is. So if it's science, there's obviously going to be things like biology, physics, maths, things like that are going to be in the science award. So there's ones that are given that have to be part of the award to be made up. There's also then other ones called electives, which would be like chosen ones, which would be extra. So say we're applying for environmental science, you would take environmental science as a subject. If you were taking forensic science, you would take the criminology or criminal law as subjects in that award. So they would be more choice awards, more choice subjects within the award. And a lot of students will do extra ones at the start and then narrow it in as the year goes on as to what they need or what they like. But there is a set basic amount of subjects that are required when you apply for a particular course.
There's a question coming there around fees. So all of our science programs are €450, and that's inclusive of any specialist courses, registration fees and exam fees. And for medical card holders, there's €250 off the course fee. So €450 for all of our science courses.
So we have 6 departments. We're always available to for any questions that you have that you want to send to us. And on the Dunboyne College website, you'll find under Student Services, you'll find Derek and I, our emails. for guidance counselling, or you could email the college directly itself, and that would be forwarded to us. Any questions at all that you have. Also, your guidance counsellors in schools will answer a lot of questions, or could forward questions to us as well. So the main thing is not to be shy, and always ask your questions that you have.
Okay, I think that's it. So I wish you the best of luck. Thanks very much for tuning in.
Thank you.